Ooh, KUKI Shinobu. Wow. She looks very badass, I'm not gonna lie. She got the mask, she got that little sword, her drip looks pretty badass too. She's obviously going to be a DPS character, right?
The Ring of Sanctification follows the active character and periodically deals electro damage to nearby enemies, while also healing active characters nearby.
What the fuck? Welcome everyone to my channel. My name is Ray and today I'm going to show you how to use KUKI Shinobu in Genshin Impact. We're gonna go through her skills, artifacts, weapons, and more, and I'm going to break it down to you guys as simply as possible. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first of all, we'll take a quick look at her skills and passive. So first is her elemental skill. Basically, when you use this skill, you will lose HP, but in exchange, you get rings that deal AoE electro damage to enemies and will heal characters inside the AoE continuously, based on Shinobu's max HP. In Razor terms, use skill, lose HP, but get heals and deal AoE electro damage. Additionally, when Shinobu's HP is less than or equal to 20%, she will not lose HP when you use her skill again. Also, what's good about this skill is the duration of it is almost the same as its cooldown, meaning that you can use it again right after it expires. So you're like getting unlimited heals. Pretty cool. Next is her elemental burst. Simply put, she creates a field that deals continuous AoE electro damage to enemies based on her max HP. Additionally, if her health drops below or equal to 50%, the duration of the field will increase, dealing more damage to enemies. Next, we'll go over her passive talents. So first, we have her first passive, Breaking Free. When Shinobu's HP is below 50%, she'll gain 15% healing bonus. Next is her second talent, Heart's Repose, which will increase the amount of her healing by 75% of her elemental mastery and will increase damage dealt by 25% of her elemental mastery. Her third passive just gives you more rewards when using Shinobu on an expedition in Inazuma. Now for the talent prioritization, I recommend leveling up her elemental skill first because that's going to provide more heals, and following that, you're gonna level up her burst, and lastly is her normal attacks. Now that we've covered that up, let's move on to her constellations. C1 increases your burst field by 50%, so that means more enemies will get hit by your burst. C2 increases the duration of your elemental skill by 3 seconds, so you can get more heals. C3 increases your elemental skills level by 3. For C4, basically enemies that get hit by her elemental skill will be marked, and if you perform a normal, charged, or plunging attack on the marked enemies, it will deal AoE electro damage to them based on Shinobu's max HP. C5 increases the level of your burst by 3. And finally, C6, this one is insane. Basically, if you take a lot of damage, let's say an attack that is a guaranteed kill, for example, Raiden's Final Calamity, when she gets hit by this, she won't die from it. This can occur every 60 seconds. Additionally, when her HP drops below 25%, she will gain 150 elemental mastery for 15 seconds. This means that you'll get more heals and more damage because of her second passive talent. This will also occur every 60 seconds. So, if you want to invest on her constellation, if you can, try to C6 her because C6 is just insane. But if you don't have that much, then you can just go with C1 or C2. That'd be totally fine. Let's now move on to her artifacts. If you're a late game player, then a good set is a 2-piece adventurer and a 2-piece traveling doctor. 2-piece adventure gives you more HP, and traveling doctor increases your healing. Now for mid and end game players, there are 3 sets you can use. The 4-piece Ocean Hued Clam. This will help you with your heals while also dealing damage to the enemies. Next is the 4-piece Maiden Beloved. This set increases your healing when you use your skill and burst, so it fits perfectly with Shinobu. And finally, the 2-piece Millilith and 2-piece Wanderer's Troop. Millilith gives you more HP, and Wanderer's Troops gives you more EM, which she also needs. Out of all these sets, I think the best one is the 4-piece Ocean Clam because it can deal damage to enemies based on how much you've healed, while also giving you more heals. But if you don't have a lot of these artifacts like I do, then you can stick with the other 2 sets. Moving on to the artifact stats, you're mainly going to look for HP percentage, and elemental mastery. Maybe a little energy recharge as well, but that's optional. No crit stats because we're building her as a support. For the sands, you're gonna go for HP, as well as the goblet, use HP. And for the circlet, you can either use HP or elemental mastery, but I would recommend the HP more since it's where her skills and damage are based on. I don't recommend using artifacts with ER as its main stat because I don't think ER is necessary because you only need 60 energy for her burst. Moving on to her weapons, for the 3-star weapon, the Dark Iron Sword is your best option. It gives you EM and the passive also works great with her. For the 4-star options, we have the Iron Sting and the Alley Flash. They both have elemental mastery and both their passives are great. The Iron Sting gives you more damage by dealing elemental damage, and the Alley Flash also increases your damage. For a 5-star weapon, you only have one best option, and that is the Freedom Sworn. It also has elemental mastery and a very good passive. If you noticed, all of the weapons I've mentioned have one thing in common, and that is elemental mastery. That's because we're taking advantage of her second passive, so EM is really the best option for her. If you're gonna go with an energy recharge weapon, again, I don't think it's necessary because she only needs 60 energy for her burst, so having like 120 or 130 ER is already enough, and you can possibly get that just from your artifacts. So overall, EM swords are still the best for her. As far as I know, there's no sword that gives you HP, but if there will, then that'd be great for her as well. Alright, that's all for my guide. I think I've covered pretty much everything. As for her team comps though, compare her with anyone cause she's a healer anyway. Maybe not for Hu Tao though. Or you can use her for a taser comp, so you can pair her with Child, Xingqiu, or Yellen. Anyway, that's all. Honestly, I'm really disappointed that she is a healer. I expected her to be at least a sub DPS character, but nope. I don't know what Hoyoverse was thinking, but whatever, it's still fine. Anyway, since I've already covered everything, let's see her in action, shall we?
無双の風シミュレーター安全距離これが運命です。渚のリン西洋ナブここだせここだせここだはっ行くぞせ超拡散形態邪魔をするなしっかり立ってな運命の虚栄無駄だくだらない無駄だ散れ消えろ無能せ無能無能ここだここだ行くぞせここだせせ吸引テスト開始 安全距離確認。無双の風、運命には逆らいません。渚のリン
わめくがいい。ここだ。せっさあ行く。はっせここだ。せっせっ
運命の安全距離確認。依頼出発よ。しっかり立ってな。
無駄だ。くだらない。消えろ。ここだ。せっここだ。せっはっここだ。せっここだ。無能。無駄だ。知れ。
やっぱれ。やっ吸引テスト開始。無双の風、これが運命です。邪魔をするな。渚のリン
西洋なる。ここだ。無能。無能。せ無能。くだらない。せ
安全距離確認。6308式ユニット7号式モジュール安全。運命には逆らいません。
くだらない。消えろ。せここだ。せ
吸引テスト開始。安全距離確認。吸引テスト開始。
無駄だ。
無双の風、依頼出発よ。しっかり立ってな。
西洋なる。無能。せ無能。ここだ。無能。行くぞ。せ無能。せへっ逃がさぬ。イエ
渚のリン安全距離これが運命です。
消えろ。無能。
That's it for today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped you somehow, and if it did, then make sure to leave a like. I'd appreciate it truthfully. Anyway, this is Ray, signing out. See you all next time.